And we go. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. We are here tonight with my good friend Scott over at Winning the Week, and tonight we will be discussing video editing software, which one is best for you, and comparing the different features. How are you, Scott?
I'm doing very well, Peter. Thanks for having me. Except it's not night, as you can see. Looking over here, it's not night. It's not night here, lady.
It's not actually. It's not even night here now. It's still a bit of daylight outside, but we've got two people in the chat so far. Two people watching so far. So we'll give it a minute to see who else wants to join.
Yeah, chime in, folks. Let us know who you are.
My live streams tend to be not quite as active as yours, just because I don't get as many people in. Oh, we've got Ben there. Hey, Ben.
Hi, Ben. Hey, Em.
And we've got Em as well. It's wonderful to have you here. Okay.
For sure.
We said we was going to start at 9 o'clock. So if people want to struggle in a bit later, they can do, or they can watch the replay. But let us get started. So I'm going to go and share the screen. And which one is it? Let me have a look. It's this one here. And then I'm going to come in and go like this. So this, when it appears, is the little presentation that I have pulled up for us. So we're going to start off with an overview of CapCut. And I think, you've used CapCut, haven't you, Scott?
I've only explored it enough just to see what it can do. It's not my favorite, but I am familiar with it. Yeah.
CapCut, I would say CapCut is the one that is the most user-friendly and easiest to learn. And for using AI tools, if you wanted to use a lot of the AI tools and a lot of the AI templates and special effects and things, you do need the Pro features, which is $20 a month. But in my opinion, that $20 a month for people who are not comfortable with editing and things like that, I think the £20 a month is absolutely worth it for what you get and for the availability and the user-friendly aspect of CapCut. What is your favorite editing software of choice, did you say?
I'm a Final Cut Pro guy. I've been Final Cut Pro for 4 or 5 years now, I would say. And I've used quite a few things before that. I was on Windows for quite a long time.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
I neglected to put Final Cut Pro in my thing because I completely forgot about Final Cut Pro. I knew there was one that I was forgetting, and I just couldn't think of the name of it.
Yeah, it's Mac only, of course. It's made by Apple, and it's the attraction to me is partly that it's native to the to the ecosystem, so it works perfectly with the entire Mac, right? Because it's made by Apple. It's also, you don't have to get it as a subscription service, although they have started selling it as a monthly and yearly subscription. But you can just buy it, and I just I bought it 4 years ago, and I think it was like $300 or $250 or something, and then it's free forever with updates and
we've got
updates forever, and you don't have to ever keep paying for it. To get a new computer, it's still yours,
Yes, absolutely. We've got our Canadian badass in the chat with us tonight, Scott.
Hey, it's 8675309.
She's fresh out of the liquor store with her wine, asking who's this special guest.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So when I was on Windows, I don't know if you've ever heard, when I used to use Windows, and there was a piece of software that I was using a lot called Power Director. Do you remember that?
I think I do, yes.
Power Director was not too expensive. I want to say it's like 50 or 60 bucks one time only, and it's pretty capable. There's a small army of people still using it, and there are YouTube tutorials on that one. I mean, all these editing tools basically do the same tricks, just differently. I started doing some professional editing. I did some editing for BMW. I did some commercials, and Power Director just wasn't cutting it. And I had recently come into possession of a nice Mac laptop that was gifted to me by someone who upgraded. So I took that opportunity to get Final Cut Pro when I got the Mac, and I did feel like my capability completely jumped huge leap forward from what Power Director was able to do. And I have that was so long ago, 3-4 years ago, that I hesitate to compare what it can do with things like CapCut now, because I haven't used the Power Director in a while. I think they've gone to a subscription model though, so everybody wants to do that now.
Yeah, I mean, as we will go through and see the different features, like Premiere Pro is Adobe, and it is you can get Premiere Pro as a separate entity, as a separate software. You don't need the full Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. The Premiere Pro, I believe, is $22 a month just for Premiere Pro. And I think I've never used it, or I can't remember using it. I have used Photoshop a little bit, but Premiere Pro, I've never really used that. But
yeah, Premiere was the thing to go to, when I first started playing with computers and doing video editing. I mean, we're talking about the 90s, Peter, and Premiere was like the only game in town. Didn't have a lot of competition. And even into the 2000s, that was, if you were going to be editing, feature films or TV, you were on Premiere. But anybody could get it. I've been using Adobe products, especially Photoshop, since the mid 90s. And Premiere was the thing to go to if you were serious in the old days. But I'm trying to remember the time frame that Apple came out with Final Cut and decided that they were going to challenge Premiere in the marketplace and try to take it over. And they had a huge marketing push. I think it had a few commercials with some songs by BNL, and I think BNL even used Final Cut to make some of their MTV music videos at the time. So they kind of have started to take over. Final Cut really started to grow, and then more recently, you'll probably get to it, but I guess eventually we'll see that DaVinci started to step into a big chunk of the market share too, right?
Yeah, well, Final Cut Pro was first released in April of 1999.
Really? That long ago?
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
And
wow.
As you say, moving down, we've got iMovie, another one that is specifically for Mac.
Yep.
What is iMovie like to use? Have you used it?
I've tried it once or twice. I found it weak. It's kind of it's great if all you have is an iPhone or an iPad. It is free. It will work on there's a Mac version, as you can see in the screenshot there. Somebody's using it on an iMac, and it'll do the basics. I don't think you're going to be able to do some of the more advanced stuff like adjustment clips, and I don't know if you're going to be able to apply things like custom LUTs for coloring on iMovie. I could be completely wrong, and maybe somebody in the chat can tell us if iMovie can handle advanced color grading. But if you're just making casual, casual videos, I think it's probably a lot of, yeah, maybe 80%, 90% of the people out there, that might be all they need. I mean, really, for the context of making videos for YouTube, Peter, like simple is supposed to be the jam, right? You're supposed to don't over edit and kind of make the edit be invisible, right? So something like iMovie may be all anybody needs, just to cut out some of the mistakes and cut out some of the basics, and maybe they don't want to get into advanced color grading and
that's it. I
speed
mean,
ramps and all that stuff.
But I think for people who are just starting out, they are obviously not going to be, they're not going to be familiar with things like speed ramping and using keyframes for speed ramping and color grading and things like that. So I think iMovie is probably the Mac specific version of CapCut.
Although, yeah, I would call it the Mac version of CapCut. I agree. 100%. Yeah.
I recently created my own custom LUT in CapCut. So I imagine you could probably do something similar in iMovie. Ben says he uses CapCut on his phone mainly because on my PC I can only use the browser version.
The only limitation is, like you say, somebody first starting out isn't necessarily trying to do J-cuts, and they're not necessarily doing color grading, and they don't care about speed ramps. But if the tool isn't capable of it, they never learn it either. That's the only downside, and I don't know if CapCut and iMovie can do those things.
I know CapCut stuff, I know CapCut can do speed ramping.
Yeah, but what can it do? Does it do color LUTs? Does it do adjustment clips? Right? People need to learn that at some point, and it may not be in their first year of editing, and they may not need to do that in their first 3 years of editing. But you don't want to be unable to do something and never be able to learn it, right?
I think one of the advantages with the paid version of CapCut is it does come with quite a few built-in, like pre-ready-made LUTs that you could use.
That's helpful, yeah.
As you say, there comes a point where you are going to want to know how to create your own LUTs. And the one that I am learning and having fun learning is DaVinci Resolve. And what I have found is DaVinci Resolve, for the free version of DaVinci Resolve, it does everything, virtually everything that the entire Adobe platform can do. Everything the Adobe ecosystem can do.
Now, DaVinci Resolve can do a full feature-length film. It can do a serious television series. It can do everything that you want to learn. It's got it's got a learning curve, and
absolutely,
you have to learn how to do stuff, but you shouldn't let that scare you away, because there's so many tutorial videos on YouTube to learn how to do anything. Just some background here. I did find out some information. Okay, CapCut can do adjustment clips, adjustment layers. It can do LUTs, as you said, speed ramps, yes. iMovie is not capable of doing those things. So I think the idea behind that probably is that they would rather you learn how to do basic editing on iMovie, and when you're ready for that stuff, they want to sell you Final Cut Pro, which makes sense because iMovie and Final Cut are products sold by Apple. Well, iMovie's free, but you know what I mean. Before they start loading all that stuff into iMovie, I think they'd rather see you move to Final Cut before you keep using iMovie on that stuff. But CapCut can do adjustment clips. It can use adjustment layers, and it can, as you said, do LUTs and even speed ramps. We see a comment here from Ben who said he was using J-cuts on his video for his Learn Something New Every Day series, which is great. And interesting comment from Mike there, right? He said CapCut has a button for AI to do all the color grading for you. So I guess that's a double-edged sword, right? We could talk for hours on how much should you let AI do and how much should you learn how to do. That's probably a personal decision thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for to help, like, basically show what it can do, let me go into here and let's see.
Mike says, I like the AI button. I just click it and it makes my picture look better. Yeah, and then he moves on. If you don't want to learn to do that stuff, that's great, right? But I mean, Mike, I would encourage you to play with it and learn how to do it too, though. It's fun. Well, maybe I'm crazy for calling it fun. A lot of people don't think editing's fun either. So
I think if we let me see which one we're going in. Yeah, so here is a so here's CapCut, a recent project that I've been, well, this was my last video actually, and if I was to like take out all of this stuff that isn't needed, and there is like the raw image, and then if we was to just go in and make this one viable clip. So what Mike is Ben is talking about is over here on the adjust tab. You can do it on the adjust tab, or you can do it right down here where you've got like auto adjust, and you click that and you can see straight away how that changes the image. But what I like is if you go into up here in the corner, you go into adjustment, and then you go to LUTs, and you have all of these like different LUTs that you can apply to your footage. And I think some of them are really, really good. There's the one that I created for myself. Let me just delete this, bring my one down. So if we can, let's turn the audio off, and then you can see how when this clip plays through, you'll see right about now the difference in the image. So it's just, and you've got like your auto color correction. So I think that is what is really useful. But a lot of that is in the paid version of CapCut.
Now, let me ask you a question, Peter. Do you use adjustment layers, adjustment clips? Are you familiar with that?
Not as familiar as I might think of it as something else.
I wonder if you're interested in seeing it. I don't want to bog down your live stream. If you're interested in seeing it, I think I have it up because I was doing editing today before we started.
Oh, absolutely. Go for it.
If you want, I can. Let me see how well this present works. Share screen. Screen sharing is in. Let's try it. Let's try this. Don't show these tips again. Let me just make sure I don't have anything open that we don't care about. Share screen. Yeah, here we go. Allow. It's just like using Zoom, isn't it?
It is. It is. So.
Yeah. All right. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, I'm seeing your screen.
All right. And you're seeing like Final Cut Pro, right? The editing software here?
Yes.
All right. So in the edit space, there's these little, you can see my timeline down here at the bottom with my audio at the bottom and my video. If you look at the video here of me in the car, you can see it looks kind of washed out. It's not very saturated. And that's because I'm shooting my video in RAW or D-Log. which a lot of people prefer, because then you have full control over the color grading later. It preserves all of the detail inside the dark crushed out blacks or in the bright washed out whites, and you can go after that later. Now, I could saturate the clip itself by working with the color wheels or whatever your preferred method of doing coloring is. But instead, what I prefer to do instead, and this is what I was talking about before, is I'm going to add an adjustment clip here. An adjustment clip essentially is a container. It's like another layer, and anything you apply to the adjustment clip will apply to the layers below it. So it's almost like a filter placed above your clip. So for example, if I were to put on that adjustment clip, if I were to put a zoom on it and scale up the stuff, you can see that it's scaled up, but it's only scaled up because the adjustment clip was scaled up. And if I move that off of the top of that, now it's this regular clip down here is untouched. It remains untouched. So now if I bring this up, let's just say I don't want to have that zoom. More practical would be the color grading we were talking about. So if I go to this color tool here and I add my effects, I'm just going to add color wheels onto the adjustment clip. Now the adjustment clip has its own color wheels set up, right? So if I increase the saturation here, that's going to be taking effect to everything down below it. And let's say maybe I also, while I'm at it, I also want to do, I don't know, something like this, just to make it really obvious to see what we did. Nothing has happened to the clip below it. It's only the adjustment clip. Now, the benefit of that is I can take that adjustment clip and I can paste it to another place in the video later on, or maybe way down here. I'm in this particular clip, I'm shopping at Publix, and as you can imagine, I went and got myself my iced tea, right? So if I take that adjustment clip and just paste it in, it's got the tilt effect just to make it real obvious that that's what it's doing. But it's more importantly is it's doing that saturation, that color effect, right? And if I take that, let's just go ahead and add a LUT for fun. Why not? Let's put a LUT. And there's, as you know, you can download a ton of really cool LUTs. They're all over the place. Let's just pick this guy's got some nice one. Nostalgia. Maybe I'll take his Polaroid. That's always a cool one. Too much, but that's okay. You get the idea. Now I could take that adjustment clip and I can paste it later, and it shows up in other parts of the video, but it doesn't touch or affect the underlying clip. It's just and then if you want to change anything or get rid of it, you don't have to touch the individual clips. You can just delete those adjustment clips, right? So that's to me, that's the beauty of, I'm going to stop sharing. That's the beauty of the adjustment clip idea, is that you can make changes above, and I use it all the time for, the little pan in, zoom out effect that some people do when they change from one scene to another. I'll do that on an adjustment clip, and that way my preferred zoom in, because I want to zoom in so that the eyes stay in the same place in the frame. When you zoom in, you don't want your face to jump over somewhere. I'll apply that to an adjustment clip, and then I can put that adjustment clip all throughout the timeline wherever I want it, right? Sorry for talking so much. I kind of got excited.
That's why you're here. So basically, in what you've just described is, if I go and add here, so here's a project that I was working on in DaVinci, and all of these are basically adjustment layers. Like, can move those in, and like you can see what each one is, and how it all it's just like, if you play like both clips, you can see like the clip on the left is the original image, and then the clip on the right is everything that has gone through, like in the all of this process. And this is the thing that like really worried me at the beginning, was trying to like work with the nodes and things like that. But once I started going through the actual Blackmagic tutorials that they have on the Blackmagic website. I did that edit just by following the step-by-step video tutorial. Showing you like which nodes to apply and which settings to apply. So I think if people have got the time, they could spend a year learning about DaVinci Resolve and just doing simple little edits over time until they become more comfortable with it. Because
just learn one trick, right? Learn one trick and apply it to a video, and then that's in your back pocket. And then the next video, learn one more trick. I've watched some incredible tutorials for DaVinci, and the power that thing has is up there with Premiere and Final Cut. It's CapCut and iMovie that I think, even if CapCut says that supports adjustment layers like I was just showing, and then all the little nodes and add-ons that you've got, I think that those tools, like we talked about before, are great for people to start editing if they've never edited before. Right? If they've never edited, they should jump into something like CapCut and start doing it just to learn the basics. And then when they're ready to start learning about all those extra added on features, etc., that's when maybe they think about moving into a DaVinci, or if they're on a Mac, Final Cut.
Yeah. I think when you can, like you say, start on either iMovie or CapCut, and then once you can edit a video in those softwares with your eyes closed, then if you want to challenge yourself and you want to continue learning, then go on to either After Effects or Premiere Pro or DaVinci, and just see which one works better for you. I think because with DaVinci Resolve, you have like each. So in the Adobe ecosystem, each software has its own job. Whereas with DaVinci Resolve, each little tab at the bottom of the screen does the job that, say, there's now a photo page in DaVinci Resolve. So that does the job of Photoshop. Then you've got a Fairlight page, which does the job of like Audacity. So it's like having 5 or 6 different pieces of software all rolled into one.
Yeah.
And considering that to do all of that, it being completely free, there is I think it's like a $295 one-time payment for the studio version of DaVinci Resolve, which does give you some AI features and things like that. But I think, Sally's in the house. Hello, Sally.
Sally stepped in. Now we're really styling. And I saw Daniel was in here, but Daniel's listening while he mows the yard.
Styling and profiling. We're doing the old Ric Flair.
Yeah. You know what I learned recently, Peter, is, and I never knew this, this is crazy, Adobe Photoshop can edit video.
Oh,
and I've been using it since the mid-90s. I didn't know you could drop video clips into a Photoshop. I mean, I don't know why you would.
Who told you that?
It was, wasn't it that FlightQuest 40 guy?
I think it might have been, Revu mentioned that to you, and I remember he told you about it in one of your live streams.
Yeah. I couldn't understand what he was talking about. I was like, what do you mean Photoshop? Who was it that you said? Who did you say was telling me that?
Wasn't it Jay?
Oh, Revsecutioner?
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
I think it was either Jay or it was Ben, but I think it was Jay.
No, it wasn't Ben. There's a guy who drops in on the live streams named FlightQuest 40. He makes videos of himself flying. His, flight simulator stuff, you know?
Yeah.
It might have been Jay, though. You're right. I just never, It never occurred to me to use a photo editing software to drop video clips in, but it'll do it, and it makes a timeline, and it does the edits. And if somebody's got an old copy of Photoshop sitting around on a machine, because Photoshop is one of those things that a lot of people had versions of it over the years and never upgraded it, and still have it sitting around. Apparently it'll edit video. Now I know. I would never think to try it, but
Well, when I was studying, I studied law for a year at university level with an online university. And because I was studying at university level, that as a part of being part of that university, it gave us, like all the students, free access to the entire Adobe Creative Cloud ecosystem. So I could download Lightroom, Premiere Pro, Photoshop for free. And for some reason, I just didn't, because at that time I was studying law. I wasn't doing YouTube and I wasn't editing videos. So, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how much AI continues to impact the video editing process, because I think there's a lot of people who are not fans of using AI in the editing, because, like me, although I do use some of the AI features, like just to cut out any background noise and stuff like that, I think, like, to some people, video editing is like an art form.
Yeah,
you have
agree.
you have your own style and everything.
I mean, I think that we're right now, at least right now, we can probably tell when a video was edited with an automated system, whether it was, even if it's simple as cut out the pauses in between and cut out the word and AI will do that today. And but it comes out very unnatural. And especially in the context of making videos for YouTube, I don't know if that's a good idea to cut out every. I mean, when I see a video and every sentence has 4 or 5 jump cuts in the middle of the sentence because the person paused and then they just chopped it to the point where they're just like, it's not natural at all, and it's not relatable to me.
The thing with using AI to do, like, let's call it transcript editing, where you just click a button and it'll remove all the filler words, but AI will remove all of the pauses. So if you're not saying something for like 0.6 seconds, AI will cut that out. But you might have actually intended to have that short pause.
Exactly. Sometimes you pause for effect. You make a point and you pause.
Imagine trying to do a J-cut when the video editing's cutting out all your pauses. It's, it's just impossible to do. So I think there is a point where you want to edit your video as much as you can manually, to make sure that it's only cutting at the places you want it to.
Let me ask you a question, Peter. How much are you thinking about the edit when you're recording?
Not at all. But that is, now that I have been learning, because when I'm using CapCut, I basically have to press like 3 buttons and my video's edited. So I can edit a video in like 3 minutes. But now that was because most of my videos was just sat in my studio, like static camera talking head videos. But now that I'm learning DaVinci Resolve, I want to try experimenting with different camera angles.
Even with CapCut, even if you're going to use CapCut in the non-automated way and manually make J-cuts and manually, edit the way that you speak and the way that you create dramatic pauses, etc. I encourage you to try to be cognizant of what the edit would be kind of in your mind as you're recording your videos and as you're creating your content. Not necessarily when you're writing it or thinking about it ahead of time, but when you sit down, hit record, and start talking, be thinking in your mind, okay, I'm going to do a J cut at the end of this sentence, right? So at the end of that sentence, maybe you hold a look at the camera. I do that a lot, especially with these videos I've been making lately where I'm in my car driving in the truck and I'm speaking. I'll finish a thought and I'll kind of hold a look at the camera a little bit and then look back at the road. And in the back of my mind, I know I'm doing that specifically for the purpose of a J cut, to have the next clip's audio start while that extra second or two rolls. You know what I mean?
I think for me personally, a good practice moving forward would be from the first concept of a video and coming up with the idea of a video, like to the whole, like the titles, the thumbnails, the scripting and things like that. I think recording the video should be the last thing that I actually do. And before I record the video, I should like try and come up with a shot list of what do I want, each part of like whatever it is that I'm talking about in that section. How do I want that to look? How do I want that to appear?
So, unpopular take from me, hot take, right?
Yes.
I understand that it's conventional wisdom that says before you ever press record, know what your title is going to be, know what your thumbnail is going to look like, have your overall point mapped out, even in outline form. I don't do that because when I'm making videos, I'm learning as I quote unquote teach it. I'm not really teaching. I'm really using the camera as a sounding board to talk out topics and to talk just like I would with you. If you and me were just the two of us, I was on a video call earlier this afternoon at lunchtime with somebody, and it's a valuable sounding board to speak to another person who's in the same kind of activity that we are. And I do the same thing when I'm talking to the audience. The audience is my sounding board. And many times as I'm talking out a concept, like I made a video that came out this week about being out of peace and having peace in your life, or a mental peace, and being what it's like to be out of peace. And halfway through the week, I kind of crashed out a little bit and got out of peace. And talking to the camera and talking it through, I didn't know when I started making the video on Monday that I was going to feel that way on Wednesday and Thursday. But talking it through and talking to the camera kind of helped me piece through some of the situation, no pun intended, piece through the piece. So by the time Friday, as I was finishing up the video on Friday and making some clips on Friday, I was kind of already bouncing back, right?
Yeah.
Now, you tell me how on Sunday I could have predicted that any of that would happen and known to make a thumbnail and what the thumbnail would look like or what my title should be. Because in my particular case, the video really is writing itself as I talk to the audience and I sort of quote unquote learn along the way with the audience, right? Because I'm not an expert on all this stuff. I'm not the font of all wisdom here, right? I'm learning things as well as I am sharing ideas and trying to quote unquote teach people. So my unpopular opinion, hot take, is that probably works for people who are doing tutorials or people who are doing travel videos. But think about a person who's doing a travelogue and they're visiting the Grand Canyon and they're going to make a video. They don't know what they're going to find at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. It might be a rattlesnake, and it might be a hiker who's suffering from dehydration and needs help. Or it might just be a pretty tree. They don't know, right?
Yeah.
So, I understand the wisdom of the don't hit record until you've got everything figured out, but it doesn't work for me. And I think it doesn't work for a lot of people.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think with your recent taking us through your week videos. I think those videos have been like really successful in terms of how people are reacting to those videos, how people are enjoying those videos. And even though like they are longer videos, like today's video is a 45-minute video, but I was still able to like just press play and then just sit back and watch it, because it's like a fountain of knowledge that I'm taking in.
That's very kind of you, but like I say, in many cases, I'm discovering that as we go. You know, the point behind these longer videos, taking you through my week, which is new. This is, I think, only the 4th one I've done, the 5th one. You know, for a long time, I thought the only way I could talk to people about finding peace was to take them out in nature, go out in the Everglades, go to a park, go to some green space, and tell people to get out of the city and engage with nature. It's the only way you're going to find any relax. Well, you know, the thing is, I can't do that all the time. And so I was really stressing myself out trying to find time to get out there and do that. And I realized that I can talk about this subject anywhere. I can talk about this topic, this overall topic of trying to be optimistic and try to look on the bright side of things, and try not to be a negative person, essentially anywhere, whether I'm even just in my car driving to the grocery store or whatever. And I've only switched to this mode. When was it? Looking at the videos list, probably a month ago, early May. Okay, yeah, a month and a half ago. So I've only got 4 or 5 of these videos where I take people throughout my week and just kind of explore a topic together and work through it. And I think it's more natural, and I think it's more realistic. What I have to do, and this is just between you and me, Peter, I'm not going to share this information with the rest of the world. All these live streamers listening to us right now, they don't get to hear this. This is secret, just between you and me, Peter.
Absolutely.
I need to be a little bit more real and vulnerable in making the videos, and a little bit less preachy of I've got it figured out. So for example, I did a video on, is joy missing from your life? And the approach from that video was basically explaining ways to regain joy, and talking about how I found joy in my life, and talking about how great things are when you have joy in your life. But I think I missed an opportunity in that video to talk about times when I didn't feel that, right? I've been through some rough periods at work. I've had some rough times. We all have. We've all had down times. And I think I missed an opportunity to share with people the down times while I'm talking about building up the up times. I think, and that's something I'm kind of going to lean into a little bit more. And last week's video on peace, you know, when I kind of crashed out halfway through the week and said, man, I'm really down, and kind of bounced back. I think that's more real. It's more authentic. It's more real Scott, you know, not that I was being a fake YouTube Scott, but I wasn't sharing every headache in life I was going through, and I won't share every headache, but I'm going to be more open about sharing, you know, the ups and downs, not just the ups. Does that make sense, Peter? Not just between you and me?
Absolutely. Right? Man to man, we can understand that. And good. I hope you like my pretty cool mug that I have for my simultaneous sips.
The simultaneous sip. Let's have it right now. All you need is look at your sticker. You got your sticker on there. Very good.
The simultaneous sip.
That's about empty. I've only got another sip or so to go. Of course, when I say sip, it's like a giant gulp.
Oh yeah, mine too. Let's have a look who we've got in we've got Ali G's in the house.
I see that Mike says that he's in the same situation where he can't predict what's going to happen in his videos, so he doesn't make the thumbnail or plan out the title until after he figures out, having made the video, you know. And I mean, I use a still frame from in the video somewhere to make the thumbnail, right? The thumbnail is a still from me in the video. So the video's got to be shot before I can find what the thumbnail is going to be.
There's been I know Ali has mentioned it and Mike has mentioned it, how your video about finding peace and choosing peace helped them, like especially. So they've found value in those videos. And Jen was not ready for the sip, but we know Jen is always with glass in hand.
I mean, she can pause the live stream, right? Pause it, rewind it, and do the sip, lady.
Yeah. We will do another simultaneous sip just before we end the stream, so you've got time to go and refill your glass.
Good idea. Good idea.
But I think there is, yeah, it's important to recognize that not just as YouTubers, but in life, there is downs as well as the ups, and it's important to, the more we talk about those things, the easier it is to become like it, the easier it is to get other people talking about it. Because if one person's having a bad day, maybe another person who's also having a bad day can relate and want to talk and things like that. So yeah, I think those things are really important. Not what is it Rocky said? Life isn't all sunshine and rainbows.
It's not unicorns and rainbows, right? And last week I was working with somebody on a tool that helps you evaluate a little bit about YouTube, right? And that tool told me some things about my channel which were brutally honest that I needed to hear, but that I hadn't really thought of before. And so I really had to spend a couple days sort of processing that and getting through it. But that honesty that I faced looking at some things on my channel really, I guess what I'm saying is has got me rethinking, not quitting or anything like that, but just what's the missing element in what I'm doing, or is there something I could be doing? And I think that honesty / reality / authenticity is maybe something that I need to just work harder on injecting more in, right? And the topic for this week's video that I'm recording as we go, today's Monday, so I've just barely started, but I have started recording some clips for it, is on the idea of being patient and trying to be a more patient person. And this is a good example that I only made a change to the way I'm making videos 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's a little early to be giving up on it. It's a little early to be saying I quit. So I need to be more patient. So this topic is probably a good topic for me to spend time a whole week on talking about, is trying to become a more patient person, but also being more patient with the process and trusting the process here on YouTube. If I make a change in the way that I'm making videos, I got to give it time to settle in,
Yeah, Claude recently, I was talking with Claude AI about the performance of some of my videos, and it said that, like, if you're making changes to like I was making changes to the way I title my videos, and it was saying, give the video, when you make the changes and you upload the video, give the video 2 weeks before you judge it.
Yep.
Because the algorithm needs time to process it. And so, yeah, I think it is about giving yourself more time and not being so hard on yourself, and just allowing things to process in their own way. But I think what started the car videos for you started just as like a bit of an experiment, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I think they have become, like you said, this video might be the video that like blows up. But I think actually the whole car video, the car series, the Winning the Week video series. I think they've really taken off.
I get this. It depends on what you call taking off, you know. Um, like I said in last week's video, 55 views isn't taking off, but I'm happy it's helping 55 people. I'd be happy if it was helping just one person. That's something that Yvonne said over at Nana of 5. So even if it was just one person was helped, it'd be worth it. But, you know, 55, 60, 70 views, I would like it to be doing better, but, you know, it is what it is. Mike made a good point there that we've got this Discord server that it's like a glorified chat room that we're in, and we all hang out and have a good time, but we also encourage each other and lift each other up and talk to each other. And there's some other YouTubers in there talking about, you know, ways to improve their channel, things like that. But even people who aren't on YouTube could find some encouragement in there as well, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Discord server is not just for YouTubers. It's for the cool kids. It's for the community. Even if you have a YouTube account, just so you can watch videos, just so you can support other creators, you are part of the cool kids table, and you are welcome in the Discord group chat.
You know, Ali G just made a great point too, that I changed the name of the channel.
That's a great point, Ali. Yes.
Early April, right? It was Escaping the Suburbs. And I changed it to Winning the Week. And that's April 8th. That's 2 months ago, you know, so I got to be patient and give it time, right? Your face is going to have some growing pains, Ali. So yeah, you know, she's right. And yeah, there's going to be some time for the audience to find what I'm talking about. So, but it was a good experience to go through that week and say, oh, I'm crashing out, right? I quit, I give up, and then kind of, you know, show the channel, show the audience, show you folks how I get through that, you know?
Yeah, and I think the videos that you're making are evergreen videos. They are they are always relevant, because what you are talking about is real things that people are going through. So they're like evergreen videos. They will always be, once people find them, if they find them tomorrow or they find them next year, the video will still be relevant to them.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a question. What the heck does this have to do with editing? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. Now, do me a favor. Explain evergreen video, because I think some people might not know what you mean by that.
An evergreen video is basically a video that it is relevant forever. It does not. For an example, if I was to make a video about CapCut, that might be relevant for a year, but once people start using other things, other software, that video is no longer relevant. If I do a video talking about mental health, talking about depression, those videos are evergreen videos. People will always struggle with mental health. They will always struggle with depression. So that is an evergreen video. And not evergreen videos don't always have to be like, you know, sad topics. You know, you could talk about happiness, religion. They are all evergreen videos. Fishing, Ali in her channel, that's an evergreen channel. You know, fishing is an evergreen channel. So that is what an evergreen. Catherine's saying Discord won't allow her to create an account.
Catherine, you should look on YouTube and see, how do I create a Discord account? And then once you get in there to the Discord server, the Winning the Week server, I'll have to turn on permissions so that you can see everything, because I do have it set to block trolls. But once you come on in, Yeah, follow that link. Although I may actually have a better link, Peter. I've got an invite link. Let me get this and drop it in the chat instead.
Okay.
Because that was a link to your view of the server. Try this one, Catherine. I don't know if this is helpful or not. I hope so. Peter, go to that link and see. Let's see where does that link take us? Yeah, that's the invite. Yep, there we go. That should work, and then she'll get in. I don't know Catherine. She's
Catherine is amazing.
She's fabulous.
She is. She did a video where she was talking about, like, similar to your video from today. And let me just find it here so I can give you a little.
I'm gonna have to check out her channel too. Hey,
I can't find it. I don't know where it's gone. But
right.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, it said something about restrictions. Yes, when you first join,
we'll get her in there.
Yeah, when you first join, you can't really view anything until you've been approved by the head honcho himself.
Yeah, I'm watching to see if she joins, but if anybody wants to join, I'll keep an eye out for it today. We're going to run out of time here pretty soon, Peter. We
are, but the thing is, we discussed what we wanted to discuss with the. In fact, because there's some new people who joined since we discussed what we discussed.
Yeah,
let's have a little show in the chat. What editing software do you use for your videos, people?
Yeah, what tools do you guys use?
What is your preferred editing software? Oh, now we're ready, Scott. Jen's refilled her wine glass. She's got her Merlot in hand.
Her wine glass. You're so mean. All right, let's do our final simultaneous sip. What do you say?
We'll do our final simultaneous sip.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Cheers, Peter.
Everybody, cheers, Scott.
Sláinte.
As they say in the movie, Joel, I'll drink to your leg, you drink to my leg, we'll drink to our legs.
Well, I want to encourage everybody to try a different editing program than what they feel comfortable with. Just pick out one of them that's free or something, or get a trial version of anything that you've never used and download it and open up some of your clips and play around with it, see what it's like, and then delete it and delete the video. But at least then you've tried something you've never used before, and I guarantee you will learn something. You'll walk out of that experience with some takeaway of, oh, I didn't know I could do this. Maybe I can do this in the software that I always use, or something like that.
Maybe that could be something for you, Scott. CL said she uses iMovie. She bought Final Cut Pro. Work has been too busy to spend energy to learn Final Cut. So,
yeah,
maybe you could do like some Final Cut Pro.
Nope. My channel's not about how to do YouTube or how to edit. My channel is not about, and I don't want to muddy the waters by doing how to do YouTube or how to edit or how to do Final Cut or computer support. Like, I do that for a living. That's my day job, is IT, and I don't want to infect my fun project with my work stuff.
Ben is waiting for his damn MacBook, and then he's going to try iMovie or maybe even DaVinci.
I will say this: there's a gentleman who's got a YouTube channel. His name is Dylan Bates, and he's the Final Cut bro. And he will he's where I've learned 90% of Final Cut. He's fantastic. He's such a great explainer. I'm going to drop the name of his channel in the chat. If you're trying to learn Final Cut or even just thinking about it, go to his channel and look for his videos on the basics, just the getting started videos. First of all, he's fun. He's a wonderful young man who's really enjoyable to watch, fun to listen to. He's a great teacher. He does a lot of great demos on screen, so you'll see exactly. You would be shocked how many of his videos I've got bookmarked to remind myself things like, how do you split out audio? Just basic stuff that I don't want to forget. But it doesn't have to be Final Cut. Any piece of software that you've never used before, go find a piece of software you never used and try it, download it, play with it, and then delete it, and then you'll learn something every time.
That's it. That's perfect. Right. Well, I think I'm going to call it there because I need to give Jen an hour to prepare for her live stream.
Woo-hoo.
And everybody else an hour to go and refresh, powder their noses, and get ready for Jen's live stream. So,
yeah,
to everybody in the chat, thank you very much. You are all amazing. And Scott, thank you very much for joining. And guys, I will see you, as my granddad said, if I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. And I will see you can have that, Scott. I'll let you use that one.
That's hilarious. Love you guys. Good talking to you, man.
You too, man. We'll catch you all in an hour. Bye for now.
Cheers.